now, and that is the relationship between James Harden and the 76ers. Back in June, he declined an over $47 million player option. We all discussed maybe he's going to get a 5-year max deal worth $250 million. Well, the latest reporting is that he's going to sign a semi-team friendly 2-year deal, maybe even take a little haircut from the max. Jalen, what does this tell you about his relationship with the Sixers, and what do you expect from him with the Sixers this season?
Well, a couple of things, David Jacoby, and what I want young people to know, in particular athletes or young professionals, a lot of times what you do during the game is only part of how you're going to be viewed as a professional and affect overall how much you actually get paid. And here's what I mean. This offseason, when you talk Nets, it's like, is Kyrie going to be invested? That's the public question, right? So if you're Kyrie, you're going to be at WNBA games. You're going to be at Summer League games. You're going to keep your face out there, keep your name out there, try to keep your value high. If you're Russell Westbrook, the exact same thing. Or the Lakers trying to move me, yeah, but I'm still getting $40 million plus this year. So I'm going to be at the Summer League games, whether me and LeBron talking or not, because I'm a professional and I'm trying to get top dollar from this team. James Harden, the exact same thing. The last 2 off seasons, when it was July, you didn't see footage of James Harden in the gym. You saw footage of James Harden champagning and campaigning. And so now all of a sudden, you go to the Nets, that flames out. You go to the Sixers, y'all get bounced in the playoffs, and you're like, wait a minute, I ain't get a big deal this off season. But Bradley Beal did, but Dame Lillard did. And it's like, oh, okay, got it. I got to reinvest myself because Embiid has done the exact same thing. You remember when Kawhi Leonard made that jump shot that really sunk, to be honest with you, the process? Joel Embiid was going to the locker room. You saw those tears in his eyes, right? When the game hurts you, Jacoby, it humbles you. And you'll see Luka in the gym. You'll see now James Harden, for example, footage with Sam Cassell in the gym. Footage of him getting workouts in because he knows he has to reinvest himself in order to get top dollar.
So one of the things that really affected their playoff run last year was that fracture on Joel Embiid's face. I really think that Heat series would have turned different. But when you look at the Sixers and you look at their rosters, look at their rotation players, they've got a very formidable team. I think sometimes they get overlooked just how deep they are. They've added Melton, they've got that thing going on there. So when you look at this roster right here, where do you see them in the pecking order in the Eastern Conference?
So here's the thing, Jacoby. What James Harden am I going to get? You know how much I love Tyrese Maxey. DeAnthony Milton is going to play quality minutes in the backcourt for them. Thibault is a lockdown defender. And obviously Tobias Harris is going to flirt with being a 20-point scorer. And Joel Embiid was basically a 30-point scorer and an MVP candidate last year. So what's missing, Jacoby? You asked about the pecking order in the East. All-NBA James Harden. All-star James Harden ain't going to be enough. And so you can look at the stats, it's 20, 10, and 8, but that ain't gonna be enough. It has to be the impact. It has to be his percentages are high, his effectiveness, his pace, his motor has to be there. And so that's what I see from him, a reinvestment in being a professional for the Sixers. Because when you see him with Michael Rubin and they're in the suburbs of New York City and they champagning and campaigning at a white party, don't think they ain't talking about the team. Don't think they ain't talking about his contract. And so basically they're saying if you invest and we win, we'll take care of you.
So you always want to see players get the max years and the max money. But it's interesting in this one for him to sign a 2-year deal. It does seem like a little bit of a bet on yourself thing. And you mentioned the Sixers, his relationship with the Sixers. Do you expect him to play this out and then get another deal with Philadelphia?
Let me tell you guys what aging gracefully is about. Dame Lillard was injured all last season. But since he didn't bounce around the last couple of years, he has stability in Portland. So now all of a sudden, he could get a 2-year, $120 million deal. 2 years, $120 million. If you're James Harden, that's the kind of deal you hope to be getting this offseason, Jacoby, if it wasn't going to be a 4-year deal. So since that's not happening, as a player, you now have to self-check yourself, get back in the gym, get back in shape, and see if you can be that 1-2 punch with Joel Embiid that everybody hoped you would be when they acquired you from the Nets.
Well,
Thanks Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.